Welcome to Awesome Old Indies, where we take a look at indie games that are at least 5 years old and that have either been largely forgotten or never discovered in the first place. Today we'll be talking about a homebrew NES game that also has a Steam release, coming out in 2017 called Haunted Halloween 86. It is a sequel to Haunted Halloween 85. I played that years ago. While I remember enjoying it, I don't remember enough details to talk about it here. In this game you play as two kids, Donnie and Tammy, who go out on Halloween to get candy. Your trick-or-treat plans are interrupted by an evil ghost and monsters and zombies that invade the town. As I mentioned before, this is an actual NES game, and you can even buy a cartridge for it to play on original hardware if you want. So everything you see here is something you could have seen on an actual Nintendo, which I always love. I really like what they do with the controls here. You have a jump and an attack, but you also get a ton of special moves. I think the developers did a really good job of keeping the combat diverse yet simple with only 2 buttons. You unlock a whole host of special moves as the game progresses. You get an uppercut, which can be triggered by pressing up plus attack, a slide, which can be done with quarter circle forward attack, stuff like that. You even get an invincible dodge by double tapping up on the D-pad. The moves are all really useful in different situations, and they keep the game from feeling like a button masher. There's also some platforming. The control here takes some getting used to. It's responsive, but there's this delay when you double jump. It's part of design. When you first get your double jump, it feels really awkward. I eventually adjusted to it, and it does work well. It just doesn't function like the double jumps you're used to. Of course, in true Nintendo style, you get a password system instead of a save. In general, I really dislike when modern retro games use passwords instead of saves. Like, what's the point of doing that in the modern times? But here it makes a little more sense. Since this game was published on an actual NES cartridge, I could understand the developers not wanting to put a battery or something else in there that would eventually die and incur greater cost to them. And the passwords are so simple. You're not writing down Metroid-long paragraphs here where you make one tiny penmanship mistake and lose all your progress. The health system is really cool and innovative here too. You don't get a life bar. Instead, the skin color of your character changes. As you get hit more, you look a little greener each time, and then you get turned into a zombie and lose a life. You play as both characters at once and can switch between them with the select button. There's not much of a difference of how they play, but it does give you an extra life meter to play with, and as you beat enemies, you slowly recover health. So smart switching will be essential in dealing with some of the tougher threats. The game definitely does get tough. You get 5 lives and unlimited continues through the password feature. The password does not save your number of lives, so the good news is, if you beat a level with only 1 life left, the password will give you back all 5. Bad news is, if you do well on a level, your password will set you back down to 5 lives. There are 7 worlds here. Each level is pretty lengthy, and they get really difficult. The first level too are pretty simple, but the challenge really ratchets up pretty quickly. There are tricky jumps and enemies coming at you from all directions. Like take the docks here. You have some really narrow jumps, and you also get these fish just popping out from nowhere. And while there's no knockback, the enemies will hit you relentlessly, and it doesn't take long before you're dead. This level here was also really tough. You get these goats, which is just a total pain, and while you're trying to fight them, you have bats and other obstacles. As tough as everything seems, it definitely gets a lot easier when you know your moves. I struggled hard on these ghosts, but once I learned how fast they went down my charged uppercut, it became much easier, so don't expect to just button mash your way through here. Most of the bosses are really tough as well. They have patterns, but they're tricky, and they usually move really fast. I died a bunch of some of them, especially this dude here. I eventually found the nice rhythm, where I was able to get in a hit and then dodge and repeat till he was dead. If you die on the boss, you're starting right from them, but if you lose all your lives, you gotta replay the whole stage. This is just such a fun game and perfect if you're looking to play something spooky this Halloween season. I can't express enough how cool it is that they are still making games for the original Nintendo. I have a handful of these cartridges, but even not playing on original hardware, I just love it. I love playing a game released like it was 1986 again, and that's exactly what this game does. It has great Nintendo graphics, sounds, controls, and a really tough challenge with a great spooky atmosphere, making it the perfect game to play alongside your annual playthroughs of Castlevania and Ghosts and Goblins.